Hey guys, it's Joe, and in this video I'll be showing you how to use the Ensemble plugin. This is a really useful plugin for thickening up sounds as it is a massive layer of chorus sounds. This provides a lot more control compared to the normal chorus plugin, but in turn is more complicated to use. This works great on lead sounds to help add a lot of thickness. Let's go and open it up then. Just enter Modulation on our channel, and then we're met with this window. There are two LFOs and one random LFO to create a more complex modulation. And below that we have this really useful graphic display so we can see our modulation. Along the top we have the on-off buttons for each LFO and then the rates and intensities for each of them below. You can see as I change these, the graphic display changes as well. The display itself is split into three sections. You have LFO 1 on the left, LFO 2 in the middle, and then random on the right. You can also click and drag on the nodes to change the settings. If you drag the node left and right, it will change the rate. If you drag it up and down, it will change the intensity. We can see that on the random LFO the intensity is inconsistent compared to the other two, so it'll actually be different every time. These are our basic chorus settings and we can layer them together to create a unique modulated sound. We'll just have a listen to one on its own to begin with and we'll move it around to see how it sounds. Now I've just put a quick setting on to show you how it sounds using all three at once. And then we find the blend using the mix down here. So you can use all three LFOs very differently. You can have one slow rate, and then one faster rate, and then one really intense, very slow rate. I often use a lower intensity because the modulated notes tend to detune, and on the higher intensities that's far more obvious and it can sound really nasty. And beneath our LFOs we have even more settings to create a thicker, more unique sound. We have voices, stereo spread, and phase. Voices changes how many chorus instances are being generated. So the higher this is, the thicker the sound, but that doesn't always mean you should just use 8, which is the highest, because it can be a little bit much. I'll put the output mix on 100% and we'll have a listen as to why. So 3 LFOs with 8 voices is a little much. Next, the stereo spread, and this distributes the voices across the stereo field. You can set this to 200% and you can artificially expand the stereo bass. This can make things sound very wide, but then when it's listened to in mono, the quality will suffer. So it's not always the best option. I tend to just leave this on 100 as it is the easier and more consistent option. Next is the phase knob. This controls the phase relationship between the individual voice modulations. The value you choose here is dependent on the number of voices, which is why it's shown as a percentage value rather than degrees, which is what is normally in for phase. So the more voices you're using, the higher or lower you want this percentage to be, as it also goes into negative values as well. It's ensuring the different chorus voices don't put each other out of phase. You can hear the difference here between 0% on 8 voices compared to 100. You can hear it's helping to remove that phase and the sound is now thicker and louder. If you're using 8 voices, you definitely want to set this at a higher value to help create that thickness, but if you're only using 4 or 5 voices, 40, 50, 60% is all fine, but this is a really important parameter to set. But you don't really need it if it's only on one voice. Lastly is the volume compensation. Volume compensation is basically just a gain, and it's there to compensate for any volume changes caused by adjusting the voice's value. And of course we have the output mix, but we've kind of already addressed that, and it's the same as it is on any other plugin. It's for blending the wet and dry signal together for the modulation. The Ensemble plugin is brilliant for thickening up sounds, and it works like an extreme chorus. You can layer up the voices to create something very unique, and it's very good on leads, guitars, and even subtly on vocals. I hope you found this video useful, and if you have any questions, please leave a comment or contact me via my website. Thanks a lot for watching. Cheers.